And welcome back, everybody, for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look at the new comic books coming out this week, particularly for June 12th, 2024, in this case. Like I said, this is my weekly look at all the new books coming out, whether they be stuff that's already selling at a premium, some new stuff coming out that I can't wait to read, some things I'm hearing some buzz on. We got some spoiler covers that I can show you. We got some variants and all kinds of fun stuff that we can go through for books coming out this Wednesday on New Comic Book Day. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. Check out our Discord as we're just kind of build it out and put some fun little conversation areas for us to talk about some pickups and some things going happening on the shows, maybe some lists of some hunt books, things like that. Come check out the Discord. Link down below, as is the link for Whatnot. If you haven't given Whatnot a try, now's your chance. For first-time users, you get a free $15 on me to spend on whatever you want with whomever you want. No strings attached. You sign up. Free $15 to buy whatever you like, and nothing else necessary. That's it. So if you haven't given it a try, now's your chance, and do so with some free money. And I am happy to announce that I have a new piece sitting right beside me. Added to my collection, a grail of mine, my Godzilla from 1977. I had one of these when I was a little kid, and yeah, it was my favorite growing up, and I got rid of it. Now I got one back. So I am happy to have him hanging out with me now going forward in my backdrop. Now, that all said, if you want to see the books that I got to talk about for you this week, all you got to do is hang up for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. Okay, so we're going to start off as we do every week with my personal picks. These are some books that I'm personally looking forward to and think you should be paying attention to and checking out yourselves. Not a secret, I love the Energon universe. I'm enjoying it. Skybound's been doing a bang-up job with all the titles there so far. Scarlet last week was great, and now we continue that on going back to Transformers this week. Yes, we get Transformers right in between Destro coming next week as we bounce back to the Joe side of things. But Transformers, we are getting another fan favorite character joining the Skybound end of the universe. I know these are not really first appearances, but they're reintroductions, and I'm curious to see how these work out going forward. This issue, if you haven't seen, it's not much of a spoiler because he is on some of the B covers, but there is a spoiler cover. We'll get to that in a second, but the character I'm first talking about is right here on the B cover. There's the A cover with Optimus holding the world, and then you see Shockwave there on issue 9's B cover. So Shockwave's, like I said, he's a fan favorite character. Everybody knows that great cover from, what was it, Transformers number 5 from the original series. Awesome cover there. With this, there are a couple of other open orders too. We have that Skybound Energon Universe 1-year anniversary piece. We talked about it last week on Scarlet. Transformers has a cover here as well. I'm not sure why this wasn't the cover for the Scarlet one, considering, you know, she's front and center there. But oh wait, no, this is the Scarlet one from last week. My bad. So this is Scarlet, and then we are adding in the Transformers here on the left, which was kind of strange. So we got the Transformers, and then we got the G.I. Joes there, and we got 2 more coming, because I believe Void Rivals, and I think Destro might have one of these as well. So these are the 1-year anniversary connecting covers. There are color versions as well as a black and white set as well that you can go and pick up if you're interested in. That all said, we also have the other incentives for this Transformers book. If you are interested, we have a 1 in 25, another pretty cool, you know, Shockwave cover, as well as Shockwave on the 1 in 10. As you know, and we've been covering here on this show week after week, the 1 in 10s on these Skybound books are connecting covers. So we just had a connecting set. We just started there. We just showed a second ago. That's halfway done. Here, this one is now at, I believe, the midway point for this set, which goes from 7, 8, now 9, making one larger image here. Again, all of these Energon Universe books have been doing these on the 1 in 10s for the story arcs, giving connecting cover sets on the 1 in 10s, which I think are pretty cool. That said, we have that 1 in 50 spoiler cover that I mentioned just a minute ago. And with that, I'm going to give you a second if you don't want to know what it is. It's not like a huge spoiler, I don't think. It's just another one of those, hey, guess who's showing up in this book? And I think it's pretty cool. But if you don't want to know what it is, jump ahead about a minute and we'll probably be past it. But otherwise, if you don't care all that much, I'm going to show you the spoiler cover now, which is this one right here. Many of you are probably going, what is that? If you're unfamiliar with the G.I. Joes, if you don't have the same nostalgia for the G.I. Joes and Transformers that I do, you're probably looking at this and going, I don't even know who these dudes are. Well, they're the Combaticons. I don't know if you remember these guys here because you can see them. You got the chopper guy way in the back. You got the tank guy in green. I don't remember all their names. I'll admit I don't remember all of their individual names off the top of my head right this second. They would come back to me. I think one of them was like Vortex and what was the shuttle? The shuttle. Anyway, point being, the important part of this is that these Combaticons did, form a larger robot. They were combiners. So much like Devastator and the Constructicons, these guys formed a large robot called Bruticus, which I thought was a cool name. I mean, Bruticus, like, I don't know, it has that brute sound to it. And you can see all the pieces there. Granted, the toy itself shown there as well isn't as impressive as one might have hoped when you're actually playing it with, but the way he was shown, like in the cartoons and even in some of the comic books, and it looks cooler. So I always like this one with the combine. One of my favorite combiners. I mean, there's a lot of cool ones, and they were all usually the Decepticons had the cooler looking figures. You had the Stunticons with Motormaster, and they made can't remember his name. They did the Predacons. Like there was a lot of cool combiner, larger form, robots. But Bruticus was definitely one of the ones I enjoyed growing up. With that said, I had to make sure I secured myself one of these. And you can get all of these incentives for less than ratio, way less than ratio. So don't fret if you're getting FOMO or you want to get one of these. You can get these incentives for half ratio or a little bit more, maybe in some cases. But if you want them, you can get them. So with that said, again, it's my personal pick. I'm not saying you're going to make a ton of money if you find these. This is not one of those ones where people are racing towards it because they're huge Bruticus fans like me. But, it's out there if you're interested. With that said, we will get to a book that people are throwing some money at. But first, let's get to Blood Hunt issue 3 of 5. So here we are, midpoint of this series. Yes, if you've been reading along, Miles got bit. So there's a Miles vampire. So he's there front and center on the cover of this one. We also have other covers that you can get, including a Peach Momoko. You got another one of those in the mouth titles, Dracula. And this time we got Tigra. I don't know what this is all about, but that's a thing that they've been running throughout this series. We'll see who's going to be on issue 4 and whose, trade dress is in the mouth of the character. Because we had Blade, we had Dracula, now we got Tigra. We do also have incentives. If you want incentives, we got the 1 in 10 Dolato, we got the 1 in 100 Dolato, which is a virgin version of it, and there's a 1 in 25 mixed in there in the middle. Not bad. None of these are bad. Like I like these, but with that said, it just gets too costly to try to keep up with everything. But if you have been keeping up with the 1 in 10s or the 1 in 100s, they do connect, as you might guess. So we are 3 in. So here we go. Here are the first 3 that we have put together. I put the 1 in 100 so you can see a cleaner image. But the 1 in 10s also do connect like this. You would just have to deal with the trade dresses and the barcodes, etc. But still, pretty cool connecting set. I'm a fan of connecting cover sets, so it's kind of fun to see so many, but at the same time, it's a little bit upsetting to see so many because I can't get all these. I just can't keep up with this. I mean, all of the Skybound books doing it, and then you got all these 1 in 10s doing it here for Marvel. Just way too many connecting sets. But with that said, that middle cover before that regular open order is also the 1 in 200 incentive virgin variant for this book as well. So 1 in 200, that's a pretty high ratio. And with that, I didn't find any sales yet, pre-sales, but there is one listed that's looking for 250, which is above ratio. But again, it hasn't sold yet. So who knows what this price is going to be on this 1 in 200. But it's just worth keeping an eye on. And that's why this is a watch list. I'm watching it. I'm keeping an eye on it. Going to see what's going to happen as the week goes on. Because pre-sales, they're an indicator, but they don't tell the whole story. It's not until Wednesday, when all the books are in people's hands, do you see what the market actually wants to pay for a lot of these things. But with that said, most of these Blood Hunt variants can be found for ratio or less, barring this one, which I only see the one listed for 250. But help yourself to the others. Much like, or exactly like the last two issues, there is also a red band version, polybagged version of Blood Hunt. It's gonna be a little bit bloodier, gorier, etc. Issue 1 started doing well. Issue 2 started to catch up a little bit. Issue 3, I feel like at this point orders have met the demand, so I wouldn't expect too much action on the regular number 3 red band cover. It's probably going to linger right around that cover price mark for a good long while. And with that, there is a 1 in 25 incentive for this book as well, and that one is doing well. But I again caution you to not overspend, because as issue 1 was hitting and things were getting all excited and people were looking at the homage to the old horror books, orders were changed. FOC was not done at that time, so orders have been upped. I wouldn't be surprised to see more copies of issue 3, the 1 in 25, than we do see of issue 1 or even issue 2. Just saying. Just be mindful of that. But it is still a pretty cool cover. Here we go. So this is Blood Hunt issue 3, the red band. Looked like one of those classic EC horror titles. In particular, I found the cover that this is an homage of, because they are doing homages on these covers, and this one is for Vault of Horror number 26. You can see the hands down there in the ground. You got the same cemetery fence in the background. Granted, it's a little different because you got Fantastic Four, not a car, but you still got all the circles. You got the same color trade dress. You still got the entire layout for that EC cover. Here you go. Matches up. So Vault of Horror 26 is being homaged here on this 3rd issue of Blood Hunt. I told you, already getting a lot of action on this book, but be careful not to overspend. Right now, I see early pre-sale selling for as high as $200, $175, $200, but at the same time, $78 to $100, which I know that's still a lot of money, but considering what we've seen out of the last two, that's a significant downgrade. So be careful. There could be a lot of these out there. I'm not saying there are. I'm just saying be careful. Because just you're seeing like the price has already come down. Like it's nowhere near, like the last issue was like 100 plus out of the gate. Like we're already seeing sub 100 sales, and it's not even out yet. With that said, copies listed, well, they're all still seeking those big numbers. We've got copies listed for $170, $175, $200. There's even an auction that's ending today, already up to $143, $150. But that thing's probably been up for a week, so it can't. I don't know. It's always tricky trying to gauge auctions, especially at pre-sales. I mean, the book's not even out yet. It's not even going to be able to be in most people's hands yet. I mean, some people do have it in their hand. If they're retailers, they might have gotten them a little early, but actual sales of these things to the general public aren't live. So we'll see what happens as the week goes on. It's definitely one to watch, but as I mentioned, just be careful with how many you see out there, because I see a lot more listed and a lot more moving than I have of the other two. With that said, we do have a new number 1 coming out of this week out of Marvel 2 that I feel warrants consideration here in this opening segment for my picks, because I got to tell you, I think a lot of these regular covers are awesome. This is the cover A for the new Scarlet Witch number 1. I'm a fan. I like it. It's Dodderman. I also like the middle cover. It's a Frizzen. I love the cover there on the left. And then there is a Hidden Gem foil cover. Also, that's not too bad if you want that. There is a 1 in 25 that's pretty solid, as well as a 1 in 100 version of that Jenny Frizzen cover for this Scarlet Witch. And like I said, all of these are phenomenal covers in my opinion. So get whichever one you like or you can afford. And that's meaning if you want to go into the incentive ratio bits, because the 1 in 100 could get a little pricey. We'll see. Right now, early pre-sales are showing that 1 in 100 selling for $120 to $150. Not surprised. Will it stay there? We'll see. But right now, the asking prices are looking for $160, $190, $200. That's not unusual. Whether those prices get met, that's a separate question. So we'll see come Wednesday whether this starts trending more towards $200 or back towards $110. Will it be above ratio or even below ratio by the time this comes out? I don't know. But that's why it's on the watch list. We're going to watch to see what happens. And lastly, again, this is my pick list. So I'm an X-Men fan. I'm a big Apocalypse fan. So I'm interested in reading The Heir of Apocalypse. Granted, I'm not super stoked about the lineup of possibilities they threw out in front of me, but I still want to read this series. So here's the cover A for this Heir to Apocalypse series. Not a lot of covers here that are worth talking about. We got another Hildebrandt card, which again, I love the cards, but I'm sick of seeing these as comic covers. Just stop reusing this stuff. Stop reusing this art. I have no interest in it personally. And then the Ron Lim's not bad with them matching off. It does have a definite 90s kind of vibe because that's Ron Lim's style. He's from the 80s and 90s. It's classic style. I still like it, but the Hildebrandt cards, I'm just bored of it. And yes, there is a 1 in 50 virgin version of that card. I mean, great. Spend it the money if you want, but you can have that for ratio or less. There's nothing doing there as far as pre-sales go. So have at it if you like it. But apart from all those books, which I want to read them all, let's get into the rest of my reading list. These are the other titles I can't wait to get this Wednesday. These will be at the top of the pile or near the top in some form or order. It'll really be a lot of feel and and mood at the time. See what I want to feel like reading once you get your copies in hand, And plus, I got to figure out what to read for TAC because we do review comic books on the TAC show. So I definitely got to read those ones. So you can bet that we'll probably be reviewing Transformers because I'm going to make us all read that. But outside of that, we'll see what you guys pick and then what we pick to review as well. But I feel like this is my last chance. Not been thrilled with this series so far. I know some people enjoy it. For me, it just hasn't caught me. But issue 4, give it one more shot. One more shot because I hear the universe is expanding. So May Storm, we're getting more and more. It just seems like they keep introducing one more character to her, and it's getting larger. Her rogues gallery, I guess, or secondary characters. The supporting characters in her story are getting added. Great, but it's taking forever. Issue 4, I want more action at this point of where this story's going. But we'll see. There's a cover B as well, C, and another Peach Momoko D. These are all open order covers. These are all cover price. You can find them. And the only incentive, if you're interested, is 1 in 10 design cover here. So at least they're not trying to bilk you too much, but still, it's 5 covers. Don't know if all that's necessary. We could probably gotten by with 2. An A cover to B cover, maybe 3 if you wanted to do an incentive. But if your highest ratio incentive is a 1 in 10, I don't even know why they're bothering, personally. This is an IDW. I don't know why Marvel is bothering. I mean, they're doing 1 in 200s on Blood Hunt. Why are they bothering with 1 in 10s on Ultimate X-Men 4? I don't know. But with that said, I feel kind of weird putting this next title on my reading list because I wouldn't have expected it to be here. I've never been the biggest Deadpool reader, but for one reason or another, I've read the first 2 issues of this arc, so I'm just kind of curious where we're going from here. So I'm going to read issue 3 because I read the first 2 already. We got Crossbones showed up, Death Grip. I'm still learning a little bit about that character. I don't know. I'm curious. So I put it in my reading pile. I think we might have reviewed 1 or 2 of the Deadpools before, and that's what got me started. But I just normally don't read it. I just normally don't read Deadpool. But I'm kind of curious with issue 3 here. So not bad. Cover A. There is a movie cover as well as I love this Super Mario. It looks like Super Mario 2 homage, at least the way the pixels look, and it looks like a little Koopa, and he's jumping. I think that's an awesome cover. I put it as one of my top 5 covers for the week in my little short that I dropped yesterday or today for members. You guys saw it on Sunday. And then we have another live. Why do we have another Liefeld cover? Was it me or did he not retire like 2 months ago? Like, why are we still getting these crappy covers? All of them squatting. Again, why is he squatting? What's going on here? I'm just tired of seeing these things. If you want it, you can buy it, but I would stick with the cover A or go with this video game one, personally. Because outside of that, your other option is the other thing I'm sick of. Again, I've already mentioned the Hildebrandt cards. Just the Marvel Masterpiece cards. Just enough. Enough. I got the cards. I don't need these as covers, too. It's just frustrating. But a 1 in 50, obviously, because they can't get by doing these without giving you 2 versions of it. Like, nobody wants one. Why are you making it? Why are you making it two? Jeez. I mean, they would have switched things around. Granted, if they would have just skipped this version of the Marvel Masterpiece card and say made that video game, the Mario cover, the 1 in 50, I guarantee you that would have been a hot book this week and people would be paying a premium for it. Guaranteed. But no, they decided to do this instead. But what am I talking about? Marvel, they don't care about the aftermarket. They just want to sell the books just outright. They don't care. So they got a different agenda than what collectors and secondary flippers and all of you, everybody else watching this might have. So we all collect different ways and for different reasons. So you got to keep that in mind too. With that said, we're getting some stuff out of Image too. Ain't No Grave, #2. Scotty Young. Writing, not drawing. I enjoyed issue 1. I don't know if you guys read this or not, but I did, and I enjoyed it. It's got a cool kind of, Old West, Unforgiven kind of vibe, but gender swapped. But at the same time, it's not all about that. It's just, I don't want to give too much away if you haven't read it. It's a pretty cool story, and I love the twist that was at the end. So I'm really curious to see where this is going with this issue, with her entering basically like an underworld. So not like a criminal underworld, but the underworld. I don't know. I'm looking forward to this. So we'll see where this is going. We'll get to it later, but there's a second print. If you missed out on the first issue, you can pick up the second print to read both. I would recommend it because, like I said, I think it's a good read personally. But with that, there is also another book to keep an eye out for, which is a 1 in 25 incentive cover, which is a Scotty Young cover, which I'm showing here. This thing doing all right. So if you can get a hold of one of these, you might do well for yourself because already pre-sales on this one are hitting around $100, 70, 90, $100. Asking prices $85, $95, $100. It's not bad for a 1 in 25. So if you can get this ratio or less, you might make yourself a decent little profit if you decide to go ahead and try to flip it. That's all I'm saying. I know plenty of people do. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want to go and if you can get a hold of one of these and you can do it, God bless you. But keep an eye out for it. That's all I'm saying. Keep an eye out for this one. This is definitely one I'm watching for this week. Also, I'm digging the Ghost Machine universe here. So we got Geiger rolling on. Geiger #3. Going to continue to keep reading these. That's why it's in my reading pile. Cover A. There is a cover B. And thankfully, they're keeping it very simple. A cover, B cover, and an incentive. Granted, I wish the incentive wasn't just a foil version of the cover A, but that's what it is. And it's a 1 in 50. Also got to imagine that at some point, despite the number of popularity via readers, I gotta think it's gonna start coming down as far as collectability goes because I don't think not as collectability goes, but orders will start coming down. So some of these 1 in 50s, like 1 in 50s, are kind of a high number to try to achieve for an indie. Usually you want to stick with the Scotty Young, like the 1 in 25. That would make more sense, but they set their mark at 50, and I just think that's going to squeeze out a lot of smaller shops because I don't think they're going to be able to continue ordering 50 copies if they wanted to, do the rate, the variant thing. Just saying. A lot of small shops, they don't have 50 people in their area looking to get their continued Ghost Machine books. That's all. With that said, White Queen. Oh, no, not White Queen. The Whisper Queen. So this is a Black Sand tale. This is continuing on that Chip Zdarsky fantasy universe that it's actually pretty good. It was a 2-issue series that came out like a couple years ago, 2021, I think. They recently reprinted it as a collected edition. And then they had a second print already of it last week for that collected edition. Got a second print. And now we're getting issue 2 of this side story kind of spin-off thing here. So Whisper Queen issue 2 coming out this week. And it's got 2 covers. So cover A, cover B. I'm more partial to cover A. I don't know. Just not really. The pink is very, very bright. And it's just, it's not for me. I know Lovett has her fans, but this was just not for me. That's all. So we'll leave it at that and get on to our next book, which, again, kind of surprising, but I have it in the read pile because I read issue 1, was satisfied, curious to see where they're going. And that's Dick Tracy. Yes, Dick Tracy out of Mad Cave. Want to see where this is going. Just into reading a good detective noir story. We'll see. We'll see how this ends up. But cover A, There is a cover B, and the cover B is actually part of a connecting cover set. Here we go, more connecting covers, which will connect with a B cover or an open order variant from the last issue with flat top there. So you can see the two of them go together. I don't know what this is going to eventually build out, but so far you got flat top, you got Mumbles. I don't know who we're going to be introducing next, but I believe we're talking about Mumbles. I think that's also who's on our 1 in 10 here. I think that's Mumbles. If not, this isn't the most exciting 1 in 10. It's Francavilla, but it's just kind of meh, you know? Nowhere as cool as the 1 in 20 that Dan Panosian was on issue 1. That was a really cool variant. But here's the 1 in 10. This is the incentive we have on this book. But I'm not worried about incentives. I just want to read the thing. So I'm just going to probably get the A cover and be done with it. But get whatever one you want. With that said, new number ones. We do have some new number ones. Beyond a couple that I've already talked about or showed you, we got some more. I'm going to do my best to give you a quick synopsis, too, of some of these things. Some of these things are kind of crazy as far as what they want you to read for the little hitch here. But starting off, Dark Horse. Seems like we're getting a new number one out of Dark Horse almost every week. This time, Into the Unbeing Part 1. Looks to be some sort of horror thing. If I'm looking just at the cover, it is creepy. I do like the art there with all the bits pouring out of the eyeball, the eye sockets, and the mouth. A group of climate scientists working in a remote base camp in the Australian outback discover an impossible landform. They venture inside and find the unexpected. All right, it's a bit of a hook. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but it gets you kind of hooked there. And I'm kind of curious of where this thing might go. All covers on this are pretty creepy. This is the cover A. There is a B cover as well as a 1 in 10 incentive. There, it's got like seismograph kind of vibes. And like I said, they're scientists and they're checking things out. Some sort of creature, it looks like. I don't know. Could it be like The Thing? Maybe. It's an awesome movie. I can hope. We'll see. Apart from this, that's Dark Horse. Let's go over to DC, who is doing like a continuation of Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age. Ooh, so a little twist here on our Gotham by Gaslight, Victorian England kind of bat tale. Cover A here. Then we got a foil cover and a really awesome cover B. I believe that's a patina. It's just, again, that's one of my favorites of the week. That's just a badass Batman. And he's got the whole old-timey get up. It's cool. I dig this cover here. Got the little throwing knives on the side. I like it. And the foil's not bad. The foil is also being reused and repurposed as the 1 in 25, as the cover A is also being repurposed as the limited trade dress version for the 1 in 50. Yeah. Neither of these are doing above ratio, so if you want them, you can get them. Half ratio, maybe a little bit more. But like I said, my favorite was that Matina, that B cover or whatever. I'd say to get that one. With that, more stuff. We got a lot of one-shots and a lot of like collected edition type deals to throw in here. Starting off with best of. So you got best of Space Godzilla. So, getting used to these Godzilla books, giving us the best of these characters, these rivalries, etc. But Space Godzilla here with this one shot. Celebrating again. 25 years of a man right behind me here. Yeah, plus, my Godzilla, it's all working. Like the pieces of the fish shoots, it's a little twitchy, so I don't want to fire it. And then the tongue's there, the thing's not broken. There's no cracks in the toes. It's a really nice version, or I don't want to say copy that I got because figure. It's a really nice figure that I picked up. With that said, there is a pretty cool web store variant. The only variant I could find for this one, no B covers, is a web store variant. But this is directly from IDW, so it's not a store variant, so I don't mind sharing it. And it's not showing any sort of favoritism or anything like that. This is from the IDW store. But I think that cover is pretty cool. And I dig it a lot more than the cover A. So if I was to get it, I would consider this one because that's a pretty cool Space Godzilla, if you ask me. Now, speaking of Godzilla and speaking of IDW, they're also doing some weird-ass Godzilla Skate or Die. Because why not? Skaters and Godzilla goes together, right? Okay. It's Australian skater punks versus Varan and the King of the Monsters in this thrilling debut issue. All right, so we're getting skaters, Australia, kaiju. I don't know. I don't know what to expect out of this. But again, look, they're doing a lot of writing to sell it to you. I'm not reading all this to you. But if you want to check it out, feel free. I might give this a look-see, flip through it at the store, see what it looks like inside. But there is a cover A, and then there is a cover B. I don't know. Both about the same to me. I kind of dig B cover a little bit. It's kind of bright. It's got a little bit of flair to it, but I don't know. We'll see. This is not a guaranteed pickup for me. This is kind of an impulse thing. We'll see how it goes. Following that, if you are a My Little Pony fan, well, we got a couple of books coming for you. We have this Best of Spike one shot. Again, IDW these one shots. No other covers, just this one. And then we do have a My Little Pony Maritime Mysteries issue 1. Cover A. There is also a cover B if you're interested. But there you go. That's what we got. If you're not into those, maybe Turtles and Usagi Yojimbo are your thing because those two are teaming up for a Saturday Morning Adventures one shot. What are all these one shots? It's like one shot, one shot, one shot, one shot. Man, IDW, what happened? You guys lose G.I. Joe and Transformers, and now it's just these weirdo reprints, collected editions, and one shots all the time. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to hang in like this. But multiple covers on this thing. We got a cover A. We got a cover B. Which is all right. I kind of like the cover A more than the cover B, even though the cover B does look a lot like the actual cartoon characters there. Well, at least the Turtles do. And then we do have a 1 in 25 and a 1 in 50 incentive. Neither of which are really doing much, but the Stan Sakai 1 in 50 is kind of intriguing. But, get what you like. Get what you like. Out of nowhere, at least to me, I did not know this thing was coming. I enjoyed the original series, but just surprised to see they're actually doing another plastic. You guys remember this one? This mini with the serial killer and his sex doll girlfriend? Yeah, this is sort of a prequel story. So we'll see how this thing goes. I'm intrigued. I'm gonna go ahead and read this. There's a I should give you the write up here. Yeah, everyone's favorite serial killer has returned. Learn how Edwin got his first kill at 10 years old. I already saw that's I'm in. I'm gonna give this a look see. There is a cover A, there is a B cover as well as a C cover, all open order, no incentives here. So get the one that you like. I'm probably just gonna lean towards the A. But I don't know. That C's not bad. I don't know. Apart from this, what else we got? Tell you, there's a lot of new number ones this week. Just to throw this out here, Image. All right, starting a new mini series, issue 1 of 4, Remote Space. All right, kind of curious, sci-fi looking cover. What's this all about? Give a quick look. Years 2450. Earth is dying. Human species has gone down 2 different evolutionary paths. One cybernetics, then genetic manipulation. I don't know. Mildly curious, but we'll see. It's only 4 issues, so it wouldn't be a large commitment to get the whole thing. But I might flip through this to see if this is any good with issue 1. Just check it out. There are only 2 covers. We have the A cover and then a 1 in 10. I kind of like that setup. It's like almost like the IDW setup. Not bad. Not bad. And that 1 in 10 is a Ryan Otley. So if you're into Invincible's Ryan Otley, there you go. Next up, Rifters. Image is also giving us this. Rifters. They're really trying to sell this one. I wouldn't say they're really trying to sell it, but look, I can't read all this for you. Look at this synopsis. But please saran wrap your ass because you're about to projectile shit yourself right into the world of Rifters, where Time Cop collides with law and order, filtered through the stupid McSmarts-a-lot Einstein lens of Mr. Show. It's a lot of words to tell me that we're getting a Law and Order Time Cop written by some comedians. All right. Maybe I'll give it a try. We'll see. Rifters. But again, they go on. 1920. There you go. This whole thing. I don't feel like reading all that to you. A cover. There's also a B cover and a C cover, as well as incentives. We have a 1 in 10 and a 1 in 25. So this is also done by Brian Posen, who did Grommets last week. So give it a look-see. The big dude from Big Bang, and he also was on Mr. Show with Bob and David, and I believe was one of the writers. So makes sense. But I might give this a try, but I'm not going to read that whole long-ass paragraph to you. Video game. Remember last week we had a weird video game comic book? We got another one this week. This time out, it's that weird. I think Justin Roiland was doing the voice of the weapon, but it's like your weapon talks to you, and you can like level up, and it's like your friend or something. I don't know. It's a weird shooter game, but High on Life is coming out with a comic as well. Again, here's the debut comic based on the hit video game from Squanch Games. Yeah, Rick and Morty. So it's got Rick and Morty vibes. But I don't know. We'll see. A lot of covers here. All open order, so you don't have to worry about incentives. But there is an A cover. There is also a B and a C, as well as a sketch and a couple other D and E's. I don't know, whatever. There's 6 covers. So you got 6 options if you want this one, in all open order. I don't know. Might give it a try. Because again, I do like Rick and Morty. So I've not played this game though. I've heard about it, but I've not played it. Maybe it'll be interesting. Maybe it'll be interesting enough to get me to try the game. We'll see. All right, we're still not done. Almost, half hour in, and I can't even get past new number ones. But we'll go faster once we get through this. But next, Boom is also giving us a fantasy tale called Lawful. Greg Pak is giving us this. Magical meets modern in a walled city, strangely familiar architecture, blah, blah, blah. Some sort of fantasy modern day tale. All right, kind of curious, but I'm also getting kind of a lot of the same ideas coming out of a lot of different areas these days. I don't know. A lot of covers here. I shouldn't say a lot. A few covers. Cover A. There is a cover B. Here there is also a 1 in 10, which is a version of the A, and then there's a 1 in 25, and then there is also an unlockable because it's Boom, which means I believe they had to order a certain amount, maybe like 25, and they can get one per store or whatever it is. But here is the unlockable for this book. None sold as of yet. We've been seeing a lot of these lately, and I think they're kind of overdoing it, and I think people are kind of ignoring them at this point. They were interested right out of the gate, but I think at this stage they're not caring as much unless this series is a hit. Then people will go back. But none sold. Asking prices $11 to $25 on that unlockable cover, which is just a virgin version of that B cover. Now, our final new number one that I'm going to share with you for this week is out of Archie. Archie's doing The Wicked Trinity. I don't know if you guys watched The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It was a pretty good show on Netflix. I enjoyed it, but they did have these triplets. They're not really sisters, but they're kind of sisters. They're close friends. They were like a trio. They worked together. They were like rivals to Sabrina, but they're getting it's Amber Nightstone and her sidekicks. Blah blah blah. So yeah, these 3 are getting their own little one shot here. So The Wicked Trinity. Cover A, there is also a cover B on this one as well, if you're interested. Oh, I thought we were done, but we're not done. We still got Marvel. Marvel's got a giant size for us. This time it's Daredevil. So, giant size, 50th anniversary. I think it's 50th anniversary of giant size books, which is what we're doing here. But Daredevil, with both Daredevils. Both Elektra Daredevil and Daredevil. Cover A, there is a B, and there is a Greg Land C. So, they're there if you want them. Going back to Blood Hunt. I have a whole separate category for Blood Hunt. We have a whole, I don't want to say pile, and we're not doing the tie-ins through regular issues. I'm only doing the straight up the mini series, the specials that are being released as part of this series, because otherwise there'd be a lot more. But I don't think you have to read all that other stuff. So just because they do little tie-ins in like Fantastic Four and Avengers doesn't mean you really probably have to get those. All that stuff should be covered in these other books. But we do have another number one that is kind of following in, but with Blood Hunt, and that is the Jubilee book. So it's X-Men Jubilee, and you guys remember Jubilee used to be a vampire at one time. For a stretch, she was a vampire. So makes sense for her to get a spotlight here. Cover A, we're getting one of those blood red sketch covers if you want it, as well as a Peach Momoko variant as well. All open order, no incentive. Get the one you like. If you want a Jubilee sketch, get that red one. Should be interesting. But apart from that, Amazing Spider-Man's tie into Blood Hunt is getting its issue 2. So we got an A cover and a B cover by Bjorn Barons there. Kind of interesting. And then Strange Academy is also getting their issue 2 for their tie-in 3-issue miniseries. So issue 2 of 3 here with the Darkhold. Um, I think there was a first appearance in the last one, but we're just continuing that story here. A cover and a B cover as well. No incentive, so don't worry about that. But if you do like incentives, we got a pile for you in the next category, which are our big marvels. And that's because each one of these open order variants has a sketch cover that is a 1 in 50 incentive. Still don't like that Marvel's doing this, but what are we going to do? Still, these are fun. If you like Scotty Young, these are collectible. Some are better than others. But let's take a look at all of them. I made a short last week, did well on IG. Not too many people check it out on YouTube. We'll see how this week's collection of big Marvels does. But here we go. The Avengers gives us a Black Panther, which is kind of cool. And then you get the sketch version 1 in 50. All right. I guess I wouldn't want to pay 1 in 50 prices to get these sketches, though. It's just, unless it's like a real sketch, but it's not. I mentioned Fantastic Four was tying in with Blood Hunt in this issue, but they also have a Big Marvel. So we got a Thing if you're interested in that. So there's the Thing and a sketch on a 1 in 50 if you want it. We got a big goofy Hulk coming out this week as well with the Incredible Hulk number 13. Legacy numbering is inching ever closer to 800, so I think we're building towards something big for the Hulk coming soon. But right now, just kind of treading water. Here you go. Hi, Hulk. And you got a 1 in 50 if you want that. I mean, again, they're all right, but I don't know. It's just not for me, these 1 in 50s. Maybe 1 in 10. I don't know. I just don't think it's point. Maybe they shouldn't even done them. Why do we need sketch versions? Because this looks fine by itself. I mean, you already got all the empty white space anyway. It's almost like we're looking at sketches in and of themselves for new pins that Marvel's going to be selling us. But Miles Morales, Spider-Man 21, got another one. And as I mentioned, a 1 in 50 incentive. Scarlet Witch number 1's giving us a Scarlet Witch. All right, it's kind of cool. And a sketch one of that as well. I guess he's Spider Boy. He kind of looks just like a Super Bomberman or something. It looks like a video game character to me. But Spider Boy, number 8. And a sketch of that as well. And then lastly, probably my favorite of this week, probably the best one, is on that Jubilee one-shot. And it's not Jubilee, though. It is Jean Grey. But I think it's a cool one. I like this one. So far, the power couple of the X-Men have been my favorites. Like that Cyclops and then Jean Grey here have been my favorite of this little big Marvel sketches. Personally, I don't know. You tell me down below in the comments which of these have been your favorites so far. Because I mean, like I said, I can see arguments for some of these over others, but some of them just I'm not a big fan of. Like I mentioned last week, like the take on Venom, not really for me. But with that all said, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to show you the sketch version of it. There you go. So that was the last one for this week. We'll get into our Pride section. It is June, so it's Pride Month. We have a bunch of books to go through here as well, tying in with that, including DC's Uncovered. What is DC Uncovered? It's a collection of covers. Just so you know, it's not an actual book. It's just going to be a book full of covers. So this special is going to, I'm assuming, inside just have a bunch of Pride covers. So if you want to get a collected edition of Pride covers, here's your chance. I really do like this Jen Bartel cover on this book of covers, though. And I think this is a pretty good one. So this is the cover A. There is also a couple of other open order variants with a B and a C. You got Midnighter and Apollo. You got Nubia. And I don't know who the armorer there is. But yeah, open order covers there. There's a foil version of that cover A, which is also available, as well as a Question and Batwoman, which is not bad. I like the negative space on that one. The way it frames it is pretty cool. Decent cover there as well. You can see why I can see a book of covers works, because a lot of these covers are pretty good, including, well, one of my personal favorites, Jim Lee. So Jim Lee here giving us a 1 in 25 incentive on this one. And so far, asking prices are interesting. I couldn't find any pre-sales yet on the 1 in 25, but asking as little as 20 bucks under ratio and as high as 65 and 70. We'll see where this one lands, but right now I think people are trying to gauge where the market is on this book. But again, I don't know how many shops are going to order 25 covers of this Pride Month book of covers, but if they do, this would be the incentive book that people are looking for first before they might stretch towards the, yes, as you might have guessed it, black and white 1 in 50. You guys know I don't like black and whites normally. I just was complaining about all the Scotty Youngs, but I do have a few exceptions to that rule. And Jim Lee, Frank Cho, and a couple other artists being in that group. And I do like a Jim Lee sketch. I don't know. But that said, I still don't like paying 1 in 50 prices, nor do I feel like paying these asking prices. No sales yet, pre-sales, but early asking prices are looking for 115, 135, $150 on this 1 in 50 incentive. We'll see if this gets it, but that is a pretty tall opening for this book. It's not even out yet, so we'll see. We'll see come Tuesday, since that's when DC books come out, how this one does. We got a couple other DC Pride Month books to look at too, with Outsiders #8 giving us this Kate Kane Batwoman. We're also getting that Suicide Squad Dream Team book, giving us the Dreamer on a cover there. Not too bad. Hulk giving us a Hulkling randomly. So yeah, we got this. Not really a big fan of this cover, but if you're into it, I think it's a Betsy Cola. I don't know. They both look a little Gimli like, little stumpy. Like, I don't know, too short. I know they're supposed to be bulky, but something about it, it's just making them look short. I know I'm short, so what do I know? But this is a Voices Pride cover for Marvel, as is the Scarlet Witch giving us one on her new #1. I told you there's a bunch of I showed you all the other covers on that Scarlet Witch #1, and we still got more. And this one, you're getting Angela here. You got Loki in the background. So yeah, got that as an option. And Star Wars is not to be outdone, as they always have their small selection of Pride covers too. This time out, we're getting Afra on Vader #47. So yeah, not a big fan of this cover. I don't really like the perspective on it, but yeah, it's still fun. You get an Indiana Jones kind of vibe out of Afra. But if you want any of these, there are your Pride books for the week. Now, moving on, later prints. We do have some later prints to go over, starting off with remastered version of the final book in the Labyrinth remastered series. So you got a little redo on the regular cover, the official adaptation, and then a really awesome Dan Panosian cover there on the B cover. This is a remastered edition, not a facsimile. So I'm not going to give them any, I'm not going to gripe about a new cover art on this like I would on the facsimiles. But just saying, it's a remastered edition. We do have a facsimile coming out this week, though. Actually, a couple. Starting off with Gotham by Gaslight. Since we're getting that other series, makes sense to bring this one out too. Regular cover, facsimile, fine. Sketch cover, not going to complain too much about a sketch cover. And if for whatever reason you want a shiny foil version of this, you can get that too. Granted, I don't know what the foil looks like. This is just my own mock-up of what the foil could do to this cover, which, again, it doesn't really lend itself to foil, personally. I don't know. I don't really think Gotham by Gaslight needs to be foil, but if you want it, an extra $1 or $2, I think it's $6.99 for this, go for it. And then Marvel throwing out a facsimile of Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe for some reason. Deadpool movie coming, I guess. They figure they'll just throw out whatever they want. And people will buy them again. Fair enough. I mentioned with the Ain't No Grave, that Scotty Young book, that they're doing a second print for issue 1. So if you missed out on issue 1, here's your chance to get the second print to read along with issue 2. I say it's worth it. And it's a pretty cool cover too. We also have a Creature of the Black Lagoon. Not bad on this cover here. Second printing there. Dick Tracy, I showed you. Issue 2 was out, so we're getting a second print on issue 1. If you want that, there you go. You can catch up there as well. For one reason or another, Briar #5 is getting a second print. I don't know much about this Briar series. Have not been reading it. Don't know what's going on. But #5, and this is a pretty cool cover. I don't know. I kind of like the art here. But if I should be reading this, let me know in the comments down below. But issue 5 is getting a second print here. And like I said, it's pretty nice cover. And then what could be my favorite cover of the week is another second printing. And it is a redo of sorts. And that is the Gun Honey cover here. There's just something about, I know it's like probably just CGI generated of flipping the art around, but something about the way this is laid out with the bright colors and the neon and the cyberpunk kind of vibe to it, like Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know. I just dig this. I dig this color scheme. I dig this art. I like this cover a lot. The cover A wasn't bad. I mean, the first print of this wasn't bad either, but it does have that, very high CGI art, AI art quality. This seems like a poster. I like this. Just saying. So if you haven't gotten any of these or you want to give Gun Honey a try, there you go. I just think this is an awesome cover. That's all. That's all. And then for whatever reason, we're getting a sixth print for Ultimate Spider-Man 1. I guess people still need this. I don't know who hasn't gotten to this book yet, but there you go. We got a sixth printing now using one of the other covers just thrown in here. I don't know. I feel like they're just kind of just doing it. Just do it at this point. See how many copies they can get. Some of you OCD have to have every copy collectors. How far they can go. How far can they push you before you say, that's it. I'm done. Sixth enough? We'll see. Following that, we have Deadpool Wolverine World War III #1 getting a second print because also issue 2 is out this week. I didn't speak to it because I don't care. I read issue 1. I was not impressed. Personal thing, personal taste. I has nothing against Joe Kelly. I just wasn't hooked by it. I thought it would be better than it was, and I was not hooked by this story. But if you want to give it a go, here's your chance to get the second print. And if you really, really want to, here's your Rob Liefeld Virgin 1 in 25 incentive for this thing. Yeah, I don't like the art on this still either. Everybody's doing the side lane poop. I don't get it. But, like I said, I don't know. Maybe I'll give in and give issue 2 a try, but issue 1 really was not. It just jumped around. It didn't have much of a point. I don't know. I didn't care for it. But that's my personal taste. Feel free to tell me I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong down below. Maybe I'll reconsider. But, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even get the prices for these. I don't even know if this is doing well. This is a leftover. It's one. I missed this one. So, oh well. I'm not going to sweat over it. We'll see. These 1 in 25 second prints, they spike and they're hard to find and they sell for double ratio. Only like 1 or 2 copies. I imagine that's what will happen again. $40. That's my guess. But like 2 sales. Whoopee. That's it. Stormbreakers. Now, you remember last month, Stormbreakers were giving us all of those Ghost Rider versions of characters. This time, and for June, it looks like the Stormbreakers covers are actually, they could be introducing new characters because I don't know who's in these pictures. But we are getting an Infinity Stone focus here. So it looks like we have a prior holder of one of the Infinity Stones, Adam Warlock there, with a newer character down below. I don't know if that's Star Boy, supposed to be like Star Kid. It looks like Star Lord, but like different. I don't know. And this is the Stormbreaker cover on Deadpool and Wolverine World War III #2. So I showed you the regular cover, but this is the Stormbreaker cover again. Infinity Stone, Infinity Gem based. Also, Spider-Boy 8 has another Stormbreaker cover that has Gamora in the background, and then I don't know who this dude is in the front, but then here we have the Green Stone. Why am I calling these by color and not what they are? Space Stone, Time Stone, Soul Stone? Because I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't tell you these days because I'm not sure Marvel knows what stone is which. Because if we go back, this was the lineup of the stones that I remember when I was younger and read the Infinity Gauntlet. The original Infinity Gauntlet, these were the colors. Soul Stone was green, Space was purple, Mind was blue, Reality yellow, Time orange, Power was red. That's what I remembered. And the MCU came about, and they also changed them up, and the Mind Stone was now yellow. The Reality Stone was red. The Power Stone was now purple. The Space Stone was blue. And also the Cosmic Cube at the same time. The Time Stone was green. Also in the Eye of Agamotto. The Soul Stone now is the leftover orange because it was the last one. I don't know. But it's not just the change from there to the movies. Even throughout the comics over the years, we've had different variations. Look at these. These look nearly identical. And most of the colors are, but they're not. Here we got a green Mind Gem and a red Mind Gem. But just a second ago, the Mind Stone was yellow and blue. So wait, the Mind Stone has been blue, yellow, green, and red. No consistency. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but you can see some of them matched and kept. The Soul Stone became purple in both of these, but not orange or green like they were before. I don't know. Point being, I don't know what stones those are in the pictures because of this. At least have to refer to them by color. With that said, let's get to the homage section. These are all simple homages, not homages. I never know how to say it right, and people make fun of me, but it is what it is. It goes all the way back to Jim Lee when he had that studio. It was Homage Studio. I kept saying homage, but I don't think you use the H. I think you do without the H. I think it's homage, but whatever. Point being, something epic, obviously. They've been doing this the whole run. You got a comic book homage here with Dark Knight Returns. Pretty fun with this Howard the Duck looking like character. And then they do a movie one as well. This time out, they're doing Beverly Hills Cop. Also kind of fun. Right? Yeah, they do with the trade, the trade dress matching the text. I like when they put that attention to detail in. I've said that multiple times. Just like this Torpedo 1972 series has been doing these crime covers. So here we're doing Carlito's Way. Again, matching the trade dress and all that stuff. Awesome. I like it when they do that stuff. So, yeah. There are the few for this week. And then I got a couple of other covers to talk about. These are a couple of series even that have multiple covers that I like. Like we did Space Ghost last week. Like I like a lot of the Space Ghost covers, but I'm not buying them because I just can't keep up. Can't buy all these things, and there's so many covers that I can't pick one, and I'm not buying them all. That's what happened with Thundercats. I just can't pick up Thundercats anymore. The story was so-so to start. I don't know what's going on now. And yeah, there's multiple covers that aren't bad. This Nakayama's pretty cool. But meanwhile, this Perillo's pretty awesome too. And then you also got I don't know, is that Declan Shavley, I think, and then an Ivan Dow, whatever. Multiple options. I don't know which one I like best. I'm just not gonna get any of them. Meanwhile, I am going to get this because for whatever reason that I have it, I still order Savage Dragon every month. Like I just keep getting it. I haven't read this in forever, but I have been continuing to get them. And just some fun covers here. On 270, we have this kind of I don't know, it's a Where the Wild Things Are kind of Peanuts kind of vibe going on here with the kids. Then there's a purple version of it with a retro trade dress. And then there's also the retro trade dress on this black and white one as well. I like all of those. I don't know. I forget which one. Whatever one is listed as B is the one I'm probably going to get because that's what I do with my pre-order from DCBS. I just get the B cover because it usually has the 70s style trade dress. So I think I'm probably getting this black and white one. But I might need to go and pick up one of the red or purples because I kind of like those too. Incentives. I should have just called it incentive this week because apart from ones we've already covered, there was only one that stood out to me, and that is the third Usagi Yojimbo the Crow 1 in 40. So here we go. Got this rhino-ish character on the. I think it's a rhino. Looks like a rhino with a shaved horn. Pre-sales under with that. Remember that first one? That first one was like $400 at one time. Now I think it's come way down. And then the second one wasn't too bad either as far as a return on investment. But here we're looking at $90 to $100, and there's copies listed around that same. So this has definitely come way down from where it was. Don't know if there's going to be there's a lot more, and that's why, or if it was just the issue one kind of caught people by surprise. I don't know, but here we go. Figured I'd still point out that issue 3 is still doing this 1 in 40 for 40 years of Usagi Yojimbo. And then finally, we've got our Cheesecake cover section. So let's just wrap this up as quickly as we can because I'm losing my voice talking here. Sitting here by myself, just going running through all these books. It takes a lot out of my voice. The Cheesecake covers. Gotham by Gaslight. I didn't show you that did have this Catwoman here. Pretty awesome. I like it. Randomly, whatever this Antarctic Press book Manga Z is throwing out, but this is exactly what this section is for. So whatever this book is, manga, whatever, boom, there you go. It meets the criteria. As does Vampirilla basically every time out. With a Perillo, we always get a Perillo. We often get a Linzer, but I don't think we got a Linzer this time. But we did get a Carla Cohen there in the green, and I think we got an Elias. I can't say his name. There's a lot of I don't know how to pronounce it. And then there is also a cosplay as well as a 1 in 7 variant as well. Yeah, 1 in 7 because Dynamite has to be weird and give us not only 1 in 7s but also multiple versions of all the covers that I showed you in varying different variations of colors and virgin and black and white, partial color, etc. So annoying. Too many covers out of Dynamite. but they give me content to talk about. Much like Zenoscope with another crossover, Robin Hood and Van Helsing. We've got to cover A on this one shot. We've got a couple of other variants here as well, including this. I can't remember her name in the middle. The S begins with an S, Marta or something. Sonia Marta, I think it did the cover there in the middle, which is also the incentive variant, which is a 1 in 20 virgin version of that. And yes, these things are like weird and impossible to find because who's ordering 20 copies of these Zenoscope books? But some people do because one sold and it sold for 60 bucks and there's none out there. It's just weird collectability. It's just, again, just because something is rare doesn't mean it's going to be worth a ton of money, but sometimes it helps. And if you're into these things, they're not going to be the easiest things for you to find. That's all I'm saying. Point being, we've gone about an hour. I'm tired. I'm hungry. Hopefully, I'll get this out for members Sunday night so they get a little sneak preview. Everybody else will get this on Monday. And yeah, get a little jump start on your week because books still won't come out till Tuesday and Wednesday anyway. So you'll still give you a little bit of a heads up before books are on shelves. So with that, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the support. Make sure you check out all of the other content here on the channel. Do all the likes, subscribes, telling your friends so we can keep growing it. Make sure you check out the links below. Check out our Discord. Check out the whatnot if you haven't before. And maybe even think about a membership here on the channel. All of it helps us keep the lights on here at Rennavision. And with that all said, I'll see y'all soon with some more content. All right, later.